Just one simple food in the morning can help get your blood flowing again, even down there after 60. Now, I know that might sound a little surprising, but let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered why your feet feel cold in the middle of summer? Why your back aches more than it used to? Or why that tender connection, the one you used to share with your spouse, just quietly faded away? You might think it's just age. But after working with thousands of older men for more than 20 years, I can tell you, it's not just age. It's also what you're putting on your plate every morning. Hi, I'm Dr. Sarah Bennett, and today I want to have a real, honest conversation with you. Not about pills, not about expensive treatments, but about what you eat, especially first thing in the morning, and how it may be quietly shaping the way blood flows through your body, and yes, even to the most personal places. You see, many men over 60 come to me worried. They talk about feeling tired, losing balance, feeling numbness in their legs, and losing that deep sense of intimacy they once had. And almost every time, we start by looking at what they're eating when they wake up. Because here's the truth, your morning meal can either wake up your circulation or slow it down like a traffic jam at rush hour. So today, I'm going to walk you through 5 specific foods, real, simple foods, that can help get your blood moving again, boost energy, and even revive that spark that might feel long gone. These aren't trends. They're backed by science, shaped by experience, and chosen with care. And I'll also share real stories from men just like you, men who thought things were just part of getting older, until they made one small change. So if you're ready not for a miracle, but for a gentle, daily habit that may just change how you feel in your body, let's take a look at the very first one. And I'll give you a hint. It starts with something sunny, yellow, and found in almost every fridge across America. 1. Whole eggs, rebuilding pelvic floor strength. Let's start with something simple, familiar, and often overlooked. Whole eggs. Now, I know eggs have had their share of controversy over the years. Some folks worry about cholesterol, others avoid the yolk altogether. But let me tell you what I've seen again and again in my patients, especially the men over 60 who want to feel strong, steady, and confident again. Whole eggs, yolk, and all are one of the most complete and powerful foods you can have in the morning if you're looking to restore circulation, rebuild muscle, and yes, improve what's happening down there. You see, eggs are packed with vitamin D, choline, vitamin B12, and an important amino acid called leucine. These nutrients work together like a repair crew for your body. They help rebuild the pelvic floor, that group of muscles at the base of your spine that support your bladder, bowels, and yes, your sexual function. I often explain it like this. Imagine your pelvic floor like the foundation of a house. When it's strong, everything above it feels supported. You walk with more balance, you control your bladder better. And you may even notice stronger, more reliable function in the bedroom. Now, here's the part. Most men don't know the muscles in that region can be rebuilt, even at 60, 70, 80 years old. But they need the right building blocks. And eggs? Eggs provide them in a form your body can absorb easily, especially in the morning when your system is fresh and ready to use what you give it. Let me tell you about one of my patients. His name is Richard. He's 69, retired firefighter, tough guy, proud grandfather. He came to me because he was feeling weak. Getting out of bed in the morning was hard. He had to push off the mattress with both hands just to sit up. And more than that, he told me, with a quiet voice, that he just didn't feel like a man anymore. We didn't start with exercise. We didn't start with pills. We started with 2 eggs. Every morning. Whole eggs. Cooked however he liked, scrambled, hard-boiled, or just sunny side up. 3 weeks later, he came back for his follow-up. And I'll never forget what he said. He sat down, smiled, and said, "Doc, I got out of bed this morning without using my hands. Just sat up and stood up like I used to." And there was something in his eyes, a quiet confidence. He wasn't just stronger in his body, he was stronger in his spirit. That's what the right nutrients can do. And the best part? Eggs are affordable, they're easy to prepare, and they're found in almost every grocery store, big or small. Now, of course, if you have a medical condition related to eggs, talk to your doctor. But if you're generally healthy, starting your morning with 2 whole eggs might just be the first step toward rebuilding a part of you that you thought was long gone. So tomorrow morning, before you reach for that sugary cereal or dry toast, think about the foundation of your body. Think about Richard. And consider cracking open 2 little powerhouses that may just help you feel like yourself again. 2. Oats and chia seeds, clearing the path for better blood flow. Now, once you've started rebuilding your foundation with something like whole eggs, it's time to think about the highways, the blood vessels that carry life-giving oxygen and nutrients throughout your body. Because even if your muscles are strong, if your blood isn't flowing where it needs to go, you won't feel the difference. You'll still wake up tired, feel cold in your hands and feet, maybe even struggle with numbness or tingling. And that gentle warmth, that sense of aliveness, especially down below, stays just out of reach. That's why the next morning food I recommend is a simple bowl of oats with a spoonful of chia seeds. Now, we're not talking about those sugar-packed instant oat packets with little fake fruit bits. I'm talking about plain oats, steel cut, or rolled topped with a tablespoon of chia seeds, maybe some cinnamon, a few berries, even a splash of milk or almond milk if you like. Why oats and chia? Oats are rich in a special type of fiber called beta-glucan. Think of it like a gentle sponge that helps clean out your blood vessels. It reduces bad cholesterol and helps your arteries stay soft and flexible, which means your blood can move more freely, especially to areas that might have been forgotten by your circulation. Chia seeds, on the other hand, are little powerhouses packed with omega-3 fatty acids, magnesium, and potassium. These nutrients help calm inflammation, regulate your heartbeat, and support the tiny muscles around your blood vessels so they can open up and let blood flow. Together, oats and chia form a team one that clears the path and makes sure your blood gets where it needs to go. And when that happens, you start to feel again. Your hands warm up, your feet stop aching. And sometimes, just sometimes, something else starts to wake up too. Let me tell you about Sam. Sam is 72 years old. He's a retired high school teacher, lives with his wife of 45 years. He came into my office on a rainy Tuesday and told me, "Doc, I just don't feel like myself anymore. I'm cold all the time. I don't want to get out of bed, and I haven't felt close to my wife in months." I asked him what he was eating for breakfast, and he said, "Cereal. The same sugary stuff I've eaten since the 80s. We made one change. We swapped out his boxed cereal for a warm bowl of oats with chia, cinnamon, and a few frozen blueberries. A month later, Sam came back, and before I could even sit down, he grinned and said, "My hands and feet, they're warm again. And every morning, I actually want to get up. I feel good. I feel like I can move again." Now, that's not magic. That's just what happens when you give your body what it needs. And just like eggs, oats, and chia are easy to prepare. You can make them the night before as overnight oats, or cook them fresh in 5 minutes. Sprinkle on the chia, stir, and that's it. So if you've been feeling numb, or cold, or disconnected, try starting your day with something warm, simple, and healing. Oats and chia may not seem exciting, but for Sam and for so many of my patients, they've become the quiet heroes of their mornings. 3. Watermelon, nature's gentle Viagra. Now, after you've supported your foundation with eggs and cleared the pathways with oats and chia, let's talk about something a little unexpected. Sweet, juicy, refreshing, and yes, surprisingly powerful. Watermelon. You might think of it as just a summer treat, but what if I told you that watermelon, especially when eaten first thing in the morning, could actually help restore blood flow in the most personal way? I call it nature's gentle Viagra. And the reason lies in a little compound called L-citrulline, found in abundance not just in the red flesh, but especially in that pale white part near the rind, the part most people throw away. Now, I know this might sound a little scientific, but hang in there with me, because this part is worth understanding. L-citrulline helps your body produce more nitric oxide, a natural compound that relaxes and opens your blood vessels, much like the prescription medication you've heard about for certain men's issues. But unlike a pill, watermelon works gently, gradually, and without the risk of side effects for most people. It nourishes the body with hydration, vitamins, and amino acids, while also giving your circulation a healthy morning push. Now here's the key. Eat it on an empty stomach before your main breakfast, and try to eat close to the rind. That white part? That's where the L-citrulline hides. It's mild in taste, but rich in benefit. Let me share the story of Bill. Bill is 66, former truck driver. Big laugh, bigger heart. He came to see me after his wife nudged him into it. He wasn't sleeping well, felt foggy in the morning. But mostly, he said something was missing in their marriage. Something physical. We talked. We looked over his habits. He wasn't ready for medication, and I told him that was perfectly okay. So we started simple. I said, "Bill, how do you feel about watermelon?" He chuckled. "Doc, I love the stuff." "Great," I said. "Tomorrow morning, before anything else, have a bowl. Eat all the way down to the rind." He raised an eyebrow, but agreed to try. 2 weeks later, he came back, same grin, but a little extra sparkle in his step. He sat down and leaned in with a playful smile. "Doc," he said, "I don't know what's in that watermelon, but something down there is waking up." We both laughed, but I could see he wasn't just joking. His eyes looked brighter. His posture was different. He felt more alive, more himself. And that's the beauty of it. When you support your circulation naturally, gently, consistently, you don't just feel better in your body, you feel better in your spirit, in your relationship, in the way you show up for the people you love. So tomorrow morning, before the eggs, before the oats, cut a few slices of watermelon. Eat them slowly. Enjoy that cool, hydrating sweetness. And don't stop at the red part. Go all the way to the white. It's one of nature's quiet miracles hiding in plain sight. And for men over 60, it might just be the morning spark you didn't know you were missing. 4. Steamed sweet potatoes with Celtic salt, calming nerves and supporting circulation. So far, we've talked about building strength with eggs, clearing the pathways with oats and chia, and boosting blood flow with the surprising power of watermelon. Now, let's bring it all together with something warm, grounding, and deeply nourishing. Steamed sweet potatoes with a touch of Celtic salt. This is one of those quiet little changes that can have a big ripple effect, especially for those of you who've been feeling off balance, experiencing numbness in your feet or fingers, or just feeling disconnected from your body lately. You see, as we age, our nervous system, the delicate network that sends signals from the brain to every corner of the body, can start to slow down. Combine that with poor circulation, and what do you get? Numb toes, wobbly knees, dizziness when standing, even that vague out of it feeling you can't quite explain. That's where sweet potatoes and Celtic salt come in. Sweet potatoes are what I like to call a clean carb. They're full of natural, slow-burning energy. Plus, they're packed with potassium and magnesium, two minerals that are absolutely essential for nerve and muscle function. They don't spike your blood sugar like white bread or pastries, and they leave you feeling satisfied and steady. Now, let's talk about Celtic salt, not your average table salt. This is a mineral-rich, unrefined sea salt that contains over 80 trace minerals, including magnesium, calcium, and a little bit of sodium in its natural form. It helps replenish your electrolytes, which are like tiny messengers that help your nerves speak to your muscles properly. When you combine the clean energy of sweet potatoes with the mineral support of Celtic salt, you're not just feeding your stomach, you're feeding your nervous system. You're helping restore that spark between brain and body, that sense of control, that feeling of, I can move again, and I feel steady doing it. Let me tell you about Thomas. Thomas is 71, a retired mechanic who used to be on his feet all day, but lately he'd been needing to hold on to furniture just to walk around the house. He wasn't in pain exactly, but he felt unsteady, like his body wasn't quite listening to him anymore. We started small, I told him. Steam 1 sweet potato each morning. Sprinkle on just a little Celtic salt. Eat it warm. No butter, no sugar, just simple and clean. He did it every morning. Didn't change anything else. 3 days later, he called me. "Doc," he said, "I stood up from the couch today, and I didn't need to grab the armrest. I just stood up, smooth, balanced." Now, does that happen for everyone in 3 days? Not always. But it's a start. And sometimes, a little shift is all your body needs to remember what it's capable of. So if you've been feeling a little off, maybe your legs don't feel as steady, or your fingers tingle when you wake up, this may be your signal. Steam a sweet potato. Sprinkle on a pinch of Celtic salt. Sit down, eat slowly, let your body thank you. Because some mornings, healing doesn't come in a bottle. It comes in a warm orange bite, and the quiet confidence of standing tall again. 5. Timing your meal, the golden hour, after waking up. Now that we've walked through these powerful foods, eggs, oats with chia, watermelon, and sweet potatoes with Celtic salt, there's one final piece I want to share with you. And it might just be the most important of all: when you eat. Because it turns out, timing matters, especially as we age. In fact, there's something I call the golden hour, the first 60 minutes after you wake up. That's when your blood vessels are more open, your cells are more responsive, and your muscles and nerves are quietly waking up, ready to absorb what you give them. It's like the soil after a light morning rain, soft, open, and ready to soak in nutrients. When you eat the right foods during this window, your body doesn't have to fight to absorb them. It welcomes them. Nutrients go where they're needed. Muscles refuel. Nerves fire more smoothly. Blood flows with less resistance. And that gentle spark of energy you've been missing, it starts to return. I've seen it time and time again in my patients. They try the right foods, but if they skip breakfast or eat hours later, the results come slower. But when they commit to nourishing their body early, right after waking, things shift. That's why I recommend choosing one of these 5 foods, preparing it the night before, and eating it within the first hour of your day. You don't need to cook a whole meal at 6 a.m. You don't even need to sit at the table with a newspaper and cup of coffee. You just need a plan. A small bowl of oats in the fridge, ready to grab. 2 boiled eggs, peeled and waiting. A few slices of watermelon, chilled and near the top shelf. A steamed sweet potato in a container, with a pinch of salt already on it. Simple, quiet, powerful. Because here's what happens when you start your day with intention: your body remembers. It starts to expect nourishment. It starts to trust you again. And slowly, gently, it begins to respond. You wake up with more energy. You feel steadier as you stand. Your hands and feet are warmer. And maybe, just maybe, something else starts to feel alive again too. This isn't about perfection. It's about rhythm. A quiet routine that says, I'm here, I'm taking care of you. So tomorrow morning, I hope you give yourself that gift. Not a fancy supplement, not a special shake, just one real food during your golden hour. Because healing doesn't always come in big gestures. Sometimes, it starts with one simple choice made right when your body is ready to receive it. So, let's take a deep breath and look back at what we've learned together. 5 simple choices. 5 foods you can start using tomorrow morning to support better blood flow, stronger muscles, clearer nerves, and yes, even a brighter connection in the most personal part of life. We started with eggs to help rebuild the strength of your pelvic floor, the foundation of movement, balance, and intimacy. Then came oats and chia, clearing out the arteries and warming your hands and feet with every bowl. We added in watermelon, nature's quiet little miracle that gently wakes up your circulation, especially down below. And then, the grounding comfort of steamed sweet potatoes with Celtic salt, restoring your nervous system and helping you stand steady again. Finally, we honored the golden hour, that first 60 minutes after waking, when your body is most ready to receive the care it deserves. You don't need to do it all at once. You don't need to be perfect. And you certainly don't need to wait until it gets worse. You just need to begin with one small change. Because your body, no matter your age, still remembers how to heal, how to strengthen, how to feel alive again. I've seen it in Richard, Sam, Bill, Thomas, and I believe it's possible for you too. Not with pills, not with pressure, but with kindness, consistency, and a quiet breakfast that says, I care about this body I wake up in. Remember, it's not that your body refuses to change, it just hasn't been given the chance to change. And maybe that chance begins with tomorrow morning. So I'll ask you gently, what will you choose to eat in the morning? Leave me a comment below, even just the number 1 if you're ready to begin. And if you found this helpful, I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button so we can keep walking this path together, one morning at a time. From my heart to yours, I'm Dr. Sarah Bennett, and I'm rooting for you.